Hi there, and welcome to Kids in the Kitchen, brought to you by the South Texas Literacy Coalition. I'm Dr. Aida Acuña Garza, and I'm the CEO for the coalition. And my training is in nutrition, family and consumer sciences, and that kind of thing. And years ago, I would do a TV show called Ida's Kitchen on one of the local channels. And I always tell people I was Food Network before the Food Network ever, whatever, got started. So we had lots of fun on that show. And because of the pandemic, we've started doing these segments on Fridays for families so that parents and their children can do some easy recipes at home. As predicted early on, back in April and May, it looks like, our COVID cases are going up. So even more important to eat healthy, to fix things that are simple. I know you can go by the drive-throughs and pick up whatever you like, and that's okay. We need to support them every now and then. But sometimes money is an issue, and so you've got some things at home that you can use. On the show with me today is going to be Laura McDermott, and she's a board member with the South Texas Literacy Coalition. Hey, Laura, how are you doing?
Good morning. Doing great. Enjoying this rainy
day.
Great day to be.
I know. I hope everybody was safe last night. I had a message on my home alarm that around 4 a.m. there was a tornado, warning in the Santa Rosa area moving northwest. So I was a little bit, when I saw that this morning, it was 6:30 and I thought, well, I've slept through that one. So anyway, I hope everybody was safe and doing great. We want to welcome Melba, hi prima, and Maria Solis, hi there, you all. And John Vasquez is on, hello. And he's letting Valeria Chong, one of our Vista Associates, carry us today on the show. And so today I have a very, very simple recipe for you today. It's called Easy Black Bean Tostadas with Avocado. And this is something that you probably have at home. I'm going to show you how to put it together. Very, very simple. I'm going to show you some homemade type things that go along with this and give you some ideas for how you can change it up. It's all about using what you have at home and making it appetizing, making it delicious, making it healthy. And so we'll give you lots of different tips. You know me, I always change up the recipe. The recipe is on our posting, and so you'll have some ideas there to start with. It becomes your recipe, okay? We want you to be creative. These segments are about health literacy. How do you stay healthy in a time when everybody's, nervous again about the pandemic? And, I've told you over and over again, and there's my son and granddaughter, Jay and Alyssa, are live there. Hi there. They're in San Antonio, so watching from way back, and Maria Elena and Juan Ovalle too. And so welcome to the show. And these are just, easy things about health literacy, staying healthy. I told you, I've been telling you every week, washing your hands, wearing a mask, social distancing, sanitizing, in particular, handles of things, your kitchen, your bathroom, all of that is so important. That hasn't gone away. And you know what? It should never go away in terms of sanitizing, because the kitchen and the bathroom are, the two most dangerous areas in your home in terms of infectious diseases and that kind of thing. So got to be clean all the time. I just washed my hands right before we went on the show. So we're going to start with our black bean tostadas with avocado. Now, easy thing, you can get tostadas like this, which are like this. These are red ones, and I like them because of the color. They're very, very thin, and you have to be careful how you handle them because they break very, very easily, as you can see. All of a sudden, this became a little, tostada for a dip. So got to be very, very careful. I'm going to show you how to make your own in the oven, low calorie. Okay, and if you have corn tortillas at home, and even if you have flour tortillas, you can do this as well. But with corn, it lends itself to the recipe because it's kind of a taco sort of thing. So we've got, you can use white corn or yellow corn tortillas. And I'm going to put them here on my cookie sheet, and I put a piece of parchment paper here. And this fits about 6. The recipe serves about 8. A serving is 2 tostadas, okay? Now remember, servings are really, really important. This recipe is high in protein, and because of the beans, and it's got calcium, it's got vegetables, it's like whatever you want to do with this. It can be vegetarian, it can be meaty, it can be whatever. Now I'm going to use some vegetable spray, and I'm going to spray these tortillas right here on the cookie sheet, okay? And then I'm going to turn them over. My oven is set at about 375. And you just spray them with this. Can you use oil? Yes, but you know, you're adding a little bit of fat. If you're on a keto diet, maybe that's not so bad. You're going to put them right in there. So my oven is at like 375, 400. You need to watch them because they toast up quickly, and I have some long tongs to be able to turn them once, and you want to get them nice and brown. So we're going to make a couple of these already. And what I did is I have, and I'm going to put a little bit of this, I had some black beans and I had some regular beans, a can of regular beans. And when we say refried beans, you don't necessarily have to fry them, okay? I've seen refried beans in some restaurants that they're kind of floating in fat, and that's not very appetizing to me. And so you can take your beans, drain them about half, put them in a skillet, put a little bit of olive oil or a little, just like a tablespoon of oil, and just mash them. I used a potato masher to mash them, and mash and mash and mash and mash. And all you want to do is get them to a consistency like bean dip, okay? And I mixed regular pinto beans and black beans. There's really not a difference except, you know, your preference. And so we're going to make one of each, one of the bot tostadas and one of these others. I'm using a little spatula. You can put as much of the bean mixture as you want. Now, let me tell you what I did with the bean mixture. Remember, for Cinco de Mayo, we did some other things with roll-ups and stuff, and I made my own taco seasoning. You can buy taco seasoning, but I made my own. Chili powder, garlic powder, comino, salt, a little bit of cayenne for kick. And so I made it, and I used about a couple of tablespoons in here. If you have leftover chorizo, you can mix it with that. If you have leftover taco meat, you can mix it with that. If you have leftover chicken, rotisserie chicken, you can shred it and put it on top. So again, the way it is here, it's pretty vegetarian. So we're going to take it, going to use another cookie sheet, and I'm going to make one of these. I like the two because I like the coloring, but again, you have to be very, very careful because these do break easily. You can't, they're not as stable as the ones that you do on your own. So you put this here. Now, Alyssa and Jay, I expect you to have something like this for Mom when she gets home from work, okay? My son works from home. Alyssa is home from school, of course, like all the other kids. So I'm gonna do two only just to show you, because it's repetitive. Now, what we want to do is we want to put some cheese on here. Now, I also have minced onion, and I also have tomatoes, and I also have greens. But the greens and the onions, and I also have sour cream, go on afterwards. Now, you can put the onion, if you like onion, and I do, on the tostada before it's done or after it's done as a fresh product. And then we're going to put our cheese. And I didn't make a finished product because I wanted you to see how easy this is. Let me check on our tortillas over here. Almost, they're going. You put as much cheese as you like. Probably about tablespoon and a half. And now, move this over a little bit. This is going to go into the oven. I'm going to move my tostadas over. And then we put this in the oven because we want the cheese to melt, okay? And in the meantime, we also have an avocado, and I cut it in half, and I cut it in strips, and I put a little bit of lemon juice on it so it wouldn't get dark. And in the bowl, now you all know how much I like fresh spinach. I didn't have lettuce. Thought I did, but I didn't. So I grow kale out in my garden, and the kale was beautiful this morning because of the rain. It likes the rain, and it likes the colder weather, or the cooler weather. And so I mixed spinach and kale here. Tastes like lettuce, okay? If you want to try a different green that gives a little peppery, like spike to your salad, try arugula. Arugula is a long leaf and doesn't look like spinach. It's a longer leaf. Kale is curly, and arugula is just a long leaf, and it's very, very tasty. It is easy to grow, and so you can have a mixture of that, or you can do without it, whatever you want to do. But, you know, we're trying to make this as healthy as possible because everyone is telling us that we've got to be responsible for our own health. That's what health literacy is about, okay? Taking care of your own health. Okay, our cheese is melting nicely. Now I'm going to turn these tostadas once because they're getting, and you know, all the ovens are different. So yours might need to go a little bit higher than mine. And I didn't want it to get too warm in here, but I'm going to raise that up to 400, and so that cheese will melt. So you can do a number of different toppings. You can also put your taco meat on top of everything at the end. I prefer to mix it in with the beans because then it's all in there together and it doesn't, you know, fall off. Eating a tostada is a challenge, can be a challenge, particularly these that are a little thinner. But, you know, the calorie content of these is like, let's take a look. Okay, the serving size is 2 tortillas, so that's 90 calories per serving, which is 45 for one, okay? So we're doing 2, so we're gonna have 90. This one, the calorie count is 110 for, let's see, servings for 2, okay? So they're a little bit higher. Why? Because they were probably fried a little bit, and of course coloring was added. They had to be brown, and they cost more than these that I bought, you know, myself, that I use for different kinds of things as well. So you've got to be really, really careful. Let's check. Okay, our cheese is melting.
Dr. Ida, I've noticed grocery now they're carrying tostadas that are horneadas. That is very similar than what you're doing right now, isn't it?
Uh-huh. Okay. Yes. So, you know, it's like you've got to be able to try different things, add different things, use different ingredients. And here's our 2 tostadas. Now we're going to add, first of all, I'm going to add, and I already put my onion in and I've got my cheese. And the reason I want the cheese, now you can add cheese on top too, if you're a cheesy person. We're going to add our greens. And seriously, these greens, they're just like lettuce, okay? We're going to add some tomatoes. And I grew these in my garden. These are little patio cherry tomatoes. So this is an easy dish. When you've been out and you don't want to eat very, very heavy. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put these out of the way. what do you think should go next? I think that the sour cream should go next. And you could have put the sour cream. You can also use regular yogurt, plain yogurt. Tastes like sour cream. Wanted to get a dollop. You've seen that commercial where you do a dollop. Okay. And you can add a little bit more cheese. And there are our bean tostadas. Now these are vegetarian because I didn't have any meat there. And if you want to go meatless, this is a great Lenten dish too. But sometimes you want something light. It's just like too heavy. You ate heavy in the morning. Maybe you ate something mid-afternoon and you want something light for dinner. Easy, you know, to do. Very nutritious. Let me check my tostadas here in the oven. And they're toasting very nicely. Nice to use long tongs because that way you can, you know, manipulate them a little bit better. Now, the other thing that we're going to add is a little bit of avocado. And my son would say, put it all on there. But one avocado, you cut these in fourths, and so you'll have 8. So you'll have, this recipe serves 8, but okay, I'll put another one on there. This one was a little bit ripe. And so how's that? Okay.
Very colorful.
It is very colorful. And remember that we've said before that if it's colorful, if it looks good to eat, it is good to eat. And you have to make it like that. I don't know how many times I've seen on a plate in restaurants or even at dinners, like, you know, banquet dinners or whatever. Well, they have chicken breast, which is, what color is chicken breast? Kind of beigeish, whitish. And they'll have mashed potatoes. What color is mashed potatoes? Whitish. They might put a little bit of chives on top. And then they'll have corn. And so the whole thing is kind of white. And I look for the red. I look for the salad. Of course, sometimes they give the salad beforehand. But wouldn't it be better to have carrots, you know, instead of that corn? With the mashed potatoes and the chicken breast and a little gravy on the chicken breast or a little salsa, like a melon salsa or something to really bring out the color and get your brain going and your, you know, your appetite going. And food is to be enjoyed, okay? To the limit, in moderation, okay? You have to eat to live. Eat to live healthy. Don't live to eat, okay? And remember we talked about that sometimes we have an appetite. You just ate a few hours ago, but you want something, you know, that's, you're still a little bit hungry. Sometimes it's thirst. Before you eat something, drink a glass of water. And you know, sometimes it just, that feeling goes away because your body is telling you, I'm dehydrated, but we don't listen sometimes. So, you know, you've got to be able to think about, am I really hungry or do I just have an appetite? Maybe I'm thirsty. Yeah, I haven't had my water today. So maybe I'm going to do that. So it's important. Let's check on these one more time. And I'll pull them out of here. They still need, you can get them as brown as you want. And of course you want them to be crispy. And that's important. It doesn't take too long to do that. But you see they're getting toasty, okay? I'm gonna leave them in there a little bit longer because I want them to crack when I eat them because I want them to be crispy, Okay, so when I bite into it, I don't have to like pull and chew and whatever. This is just like these, except this is a little bit thicker, and it'll be great to eat. So hope you enjoyed the easy bean tostadas with avocado. You can also use this mixture and mix a lot of other things with it and make a bean dip. Hey, don't waste anything. So have it for a snack, have it for dinner, have it for lunch, and then have some leftover bean dip to watch movies tonight or play games or whatever, do a puzzle. Okay. So, Laura, what have you got in store for us?
Well, I'm here again with that same recipe I did 2 weeks ago. Two
Okay.
weeks ago, I made very, very simple dough
Yes.
out of 1 cup of self-rising flour,
Right.
1 cup of Greek yogurt, and this is the plain yogurt. And so this makes a very, very simple dough. So 2 weeks ago, I made some rolls and pizza flatbreads. And this is similar to the recipe that's used on Weight Watchers. So it is low in fat, it is high in protein, and it's a real simple recipe that you can have your kids bake at home. In fact, I made this dough yesterday and it stores beautifully. All you need to do is flour a Ziploc type bag, place a little flour, place your dough in there. You can place it in the refrigerator for a number of days. This morning I took the piece of dough out, and this is a small version of it because I have some other things prepared already, but it's ready to go. It's super simple. So I'm going to use that same recipe today, but
Okay.
today I'm going to make something that kids love. I'm going to make bagels, and I'm also going to make pretzels out of that same recipe. So what I've done is I've used
It was a 2-ingredient bread. Remember, just self-rising flour and the plain Greek yogurt. Okay. And I want to say hello to Letileja and my niece Cindy Havey from Corpus, and her husband Mike, and Dalia Guerra, Dr. Guerra. Thank you for being on. And we expect y'all to prepare some of these recipes. So go ahead.
Well, 2 weeks ago, when I made the other two recipes from this one, my favorite, I'd have to say, would be the pizza dough. I think that made the best pizza dough. And today I've made something that I think is pretty cool. And in order to make all my dough about the same size, I'm using a 1/4 cup, just to give me an idea, because what I'm trying to do is get 8 out of this one.
Okay.
So right now I've got 2 rolled out for bagels. I've got 1 rolled out for a pretzel. I've got a ball shape already here, ready to go. And then I've got one here just to give you an idea of measurement. We want to kind of stay really close to that 1/4 cup so that they can all come out about even. And this will make 8 items. And I've calculated the calories, and it is about 113 calories out of 1 bagel.
Awesome. Yeah.
Different from the bagels you get at a regular store. They're a lot higher in fat. Usually they contain no protein. And in these, because of the yogurt, you do have a protein of about, let me see, it is 6 grams of protein and 20 grams of carb.
Okay.
So it at least adds a little protein to your diet. So again, I'm going to have about 8 items equally divided from this one batch of dough. And for the pretzels, I'm going to roll them out, and I'm going to say this is about 7 inches. No, I'm sorry. This is for the bagel, about 7 inches. And all you're going to do is join them. And remember last time I shared with you all to whip up just 1 egg, and I've got that here. And that is the wash that you give at the end. But in this situation, I'm going to dip it here, and I'm going to add it so that it can serve as my glue for joining the ends of this.
So you don't need a bagel pan. You just make it into roll it out, and then
yes, and most are boiled first, and these there's no boiling involved. So I'm going to shape them first. Okay. I'm going to give them a brush and a little brush of the wash, and then I have bought 2 different toppings here. This is everything bagel, and you can get this for about $2 at either H-E-B or Walmart. And after brushing your bagel with the wash, And like I tell you, it's just an egg wash. Then you're going to sprinkle your favorite topping. And you can put anything. You can put your sesame seeds, you can put poppy seeds, but this has a combination of lots of things. So I'm just going to sprinkle that on top. And as you can tell, it gives a lot of color. These are not huge. Once you buy in a baker, they're a little smaller, but actually that's really all you need. We don't need all that excess bread. So here's a sample of one of the small bagels. Now,
I saw some research the other day that said that from the 1950s, the size of a regular burger was like this. And all of a sudden, the size of a regular burger went from, 300 calories to this size, which is about 1,000 calories. So it's all about, we think we're getting more for the money, but we're getting worse off health-wise. And we just need to eat to feel full, don't supersize, okay?
And actually, when we talk about that topic, actually your sodas have gone to the same thing.
Yes.
They've also been supersized. It used to be a really small bag of Fritos. Now you look at Fritos in there, you look at the back and it'll say 3 servings. But a person will finish it all up with a sandwich very, very easy. So again, I've got one more bagel here that I wanted to show you. I've repeated the same process there. And as far as the pretzel goes, I'm going to make this about 13 inches. And I know your kids would probably have a ball doing it. And if you could see what I'm doing here, I'm going to make a circle. I'm going to give them a slight twist. And then I'm going to place them back on the edges of the pan here. Oh, there you go. Let me try that one more time. Give it a twist and then set them back on the edges here. And right here, you've got yourself a pretzel.
Wow.
So that's a pretty easy way to do it. I've got another one here that I've already made out. We're going to go through the same wash here. It's a plain egg wash that's been whipped up. I'm going to lightly brush it. And remember, if you have trouble with these edges gluing onto the rest of the dough, you could use your egg wash to be your glue. Now, at the dollar store, I was able to find coarse salt. And this is a lot more than what I need, but you're going to just sprinkle that on top. And these are ready to bake. The oven temperature is 375. And you're going to bake it about 21 minutes. You're going to keep an eye on it until you get the golden brown look that you want. I've got some right here. Again, this recipe, make 8 small bagels at about 110 calories. And then I also have 8 pretzels here.
Okay, awesome.
This is great for kids. You can make yourself a marinara sauce, maybe even buy it prepared. You can dip this. You can also, if you get really creative, you can fill the inside with a cheese stick. Your kids would have a blast with that. Fill it with a cheese stick and roll, and you can make yourself little easy snacks for kids. So this is my recipe for today. I think it's
have a contest and see who has the most creative recipe there. Or
absolutely,
you could do the first letter of your first name, or the first letter of your first name and make a bagel, right?
That'd be cute. And we're trying to make this as educational as possible, so the smaller kids would have a ball trying to design their letter of their name. I think that would be awesome. So what a fun way to use this. And I want to encourage parents, if you have a special diet, go to the internet and Google it, and you can find all kinds of recipes, and encourage your kids to do the same. Great way to encourage reading, great way to encourage literacy. Now, I'm going to take this one step further. We keep talking about reading, and we haven't mentioned writing, and writing is a big part of literacy. And one of the things that I've noticed with teachers is that they will make something very simple like this, or even a peanut butter sandwich, and then they will have kids go through the steps and write them down in a sentence form. So it could be as simple as starting with, today would have been the 1 cup of flour and measuring it out, and you get the 1 cup of yogurt and measure that out. You're going to place them into a bowl. You're going to mix, and then it's going to be step by step. And that's a great way to encourage writing for children.
Exactly. You can create your own cookbook as well.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so that's amazing. Yeah.
And
We had a question from Marielena Ovalle. Does whole wheat self-rising flour work the same?
I have not done it, but on the internet it did have some samples of that, and it said that they had used it and it worked well. So
what you'll have, Marielena, with the whole wheat flour is a little bit heavier product, heavier texture, and that's okay because that's high in fiber, and so it'll be a little bit different. Sometimes doesn't rise as much because the grain is heavier. It's a whole grain. We did a show where I showed the kernel of wheat and all the different great parts, and so whole wheat is awesome. So try it. I haven't tried it either, but in any recipe where you substitute whole wheat flour for regular flour, you'll just have a heavier product that results.
But if you do try, I'd like to hear from you next time and let us know how it works.
Yes, please. If you make these, please send us pictures either of the tostadas or the bagels or the pretzels. We want to see that. And what we'll do is we'll post all the pictures, and then everybody that sends a picture will be put in a drawing for a basket of books. So you'll have to come by our office to pick them up, of course, but nevertheless, or we'll figure out a way to get them to you. I do want to say one thing, and I want to give a shout out to Marielena and Juan Ovalle, because they have created a little free library, one of those community bookshelves at their home or in the neighborhood there. And Marielena has done some rock painting. And so they've invited all the neighborhood children to come and get a book and choose a rock. And so if that's not promoting literacy, I don't know what is. So congratulations to both of you for doing that and for being literacy champions in the community. So
absolutely. You talk about making an impact in the community. That's
absolutely
awesome.
Yes. So stay tuned. We'll be back in July. Next week is 4th of July weekend. Hopefully you'll be able to see us if you've got a phone, you're driving someplace. Although I heard this morning that it looks like this summer is going to be staycations for a lot of people. And that's okay. It's a way for us to be creative. All things happen for a reason. My mother would say, no hay mal que por bien no venga. Something happens that you think is horrible, but something good comes out of it. And I think families have bonded. You've gotten to know each other. You've been more creative in doing things, and you share in the personalities that everybody has. So, yes. So Juan says, and we have more books.
Yeah.
In there. So the rocks are all gone. And so she's going to make some more. So, not going to tell you where she lives or where they live, but you can probably find out. And if you're in the neighborhood, go by their home and the area and pick out a book and a rock. So have a great weekend. Be safe. Please. All of this that we're doing is science, okay? We call it family and consumer sciences because the science of melting cheese, the science of having self-rising flour and yogurt, what does it create? It's like an experiment. And science is very specific, very accurate, okay? In some ways, you can be a little inaccurate. You can throw in this and that, whatever, in your recipes. But we can't fight science because science, is direct. And it guides us to the best things that we can do. Don't get me on a soapbox, since I get kind of, dramatic about people saying, I don't want to wear a mask. Well, I got something in my Facebook page the other day that says, if you don't like wearing a mask, you certainly won't like the ventilator. So think about that, okay? Think about that. Wash your hands, wear a mask, social distancing, have fun, enjoy it. This is a time to kind of free ourselves, get in the kitchen, do something creative, and have the whole family enjoy it, okay? Laura, thank you. Appreciate all your...
Love being on.
Information.
I saw something that was very powerful. They were talking about the impact of this virus, and one boy said, "What I've enjoyed the most is my family is eating together once a day," and I
Yes.
think that is so awesome. And
Yeah.
too bad that we don't practice it more often, but it sure is a good habit to pick up. Pick
Absolutely.
up a good book, pick up a good recipe, try something new,
Mhm.
stay healthy. We'll
Yes.
see you next week.
All righty. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Love you guys.
Bye.